Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome to the Custom Adventurous. So today I'll be comparing the Raycon E25 headphones to the Apple Airpods Gen 2. Alright, there's one thing that I need to clarify. Raycon is not sponsoring me. I purchased these with my own money and I'll be giving an unbiased review. The main reason why I'm stating this is because I've seen a lot of other reviews of these, and most of them are sponsors, and I don't really know which ones I can trust, and which ones are good and bad and stuff. So I decided I'll make my own. Alright, so if you haven't seen any of their obnoxious ads, here is pretty much how they go. There's one of them that's like, half the price of Apple Airpods, but they sound exactly the same. The quality's exactly the same, just as good. Pretty much like that. Or there's just another one where it's just a bunch of rappers pretty much being paid to say Raycon, 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 Raycon. Alright, now we'll see how they actually compare to the AirPods. I'll be using the CA scoring method 2.0 to score these headphones. This means they'll be scored out of 10 points in 10 different areas. Alright, getting right into the packaging of the headphones. The Apple AirPods come in a little white box with the image of the headphones on the front of the case. The Raycons come in a red and black box. The box for the Raycons is a lot bigger than the one on the Apple AirPods. For the Raycons on the front, they have a lot going on. There's an image of the headphones, there's a name and the logo all above the image, and below that there are a few specs about the device. For the sides of the boxes, the AirPods have the Apple logo and the AirPods name. The Raycons have an image of the earbud, and below that it says Next Wave. Apparently these are Next Wave Raycons. I never reviewed the first wave, so I don't really know, but these are the Next Wave. For the back of the boxes, they both have images of the headphones in their case. The Raycons have specs above that image, and below that it says, The Next Wave. Raycon empowers go-getters around the world by creating the next wave in true wireless audio technology. Your journey to the top starts now. Well, that's cute. On the AirPods it has the name on the bottom left corner and FC labels on the right. Alright, opening the two. The AirPods have a smooth opening that is really satisfying. The Raycons have magnets on their side. And I'm not gonna lie, the Raycon box seems pretty legit. After removing the lid for both of them, you get Designed by Apple in California insert for the AirPods. And for the Raycons, you get a insert that says, Unleash the Next Wave. In both of those inserts, there's a manual and stickers. After that is removed, you get the headphones for both. The Raycons, there's 5 sets of different ear tips on a metal thing. And below that is a charging cable. For the AirPods, there is also a charging cable below the headphones. Alright, now for the design of the case. They both have a very small shape and fit easily into my pocket. The Raycons are black with a matte texture on the case. They have the Raycon logo on the top. They also use micro USB to charge. That's kind of a bummer. The lid takes up half the case, and I would say it's harder to open than the one on the AirPods. You just don't have as much leverage. The AirPods come in a little white case with the lid taking up 1/4 of the case. There's an LED in the front and a charger on the bottom. There's also a button on the back. I'd say in hand they both seem pretty high quality. The lid on the Raycons is definitely not as satisfying as the AirPods. Also, I noticed just from minimal use, the matte texture on the Raycons is kind of getting peeled off. There's a little LED ring around the magnet part on the Raycons. Also, the Raycons look very similar to another headphone I've already reviewed. Alright, that's pretty much everything for the case of the two. Now for the design of the headphones. They both have two significantly different designs. The AirPods have their infamous stem. The Raycons have a more compact design and aren't as noticeable as the AirPods. For the Raycons, there is a little LED on the outside where the button is. And the button is pretty tactile. On the back of the headphones, there's 2 contact points, and below that there's a side indicator. They are made of fully shiny black plastic. The AirPods are fully white, and they have sensors by the music drivers. They also have like 3 different mesh areas to increase audio depth. They also charge from the bottom with a silver metal contact points. The Raycons have an in-ear style where the earbud goes fully into your ear canal, and it seals it out. This will give you a really good noise cancelling, but it can be annoying if you can't hear anything around you. The AirPods sit on the outer part of your ear, and they don't have any noise cancelling. It can be annoying to hear things, but at the same time it can be nice to hear things. So they both have their trade-offs. Alright, that's pretty much all for the design of the headphones. Now for the price of the headphones. The AirPods come in at $200 US, and the Raycons come in at $80. Now, I would be super happy that the Raycons cost significantly less, but so far I'm just disappointed. This is why. These things are pretty much the exact same thing as the BW FYE 5s. which costs $25 US. And it seems like Raycon is making you pay a really big premium, $55 extra. I can see the justification of the packaging. I mean, the packaging is probably extra, but $55 extra? I bet the packaging costs like $6 extra and $2 more for the ear tips and the charger. This to me so far doesn't seem to justify its pretty high price. Alright, now for the audio quality. Okay, so I listened to the headphones side by side for a while, and here's my conclusion. The Raycons sound pretty good, but in my opinion they don't sound as good as the AirPods. They sound decently clear because of that seal that they get from in the ear canal, but the bass and the highs don't seem as sharp as the AirPods. They sound a little bit muffled, and the AirPods are much clearer. As for their commercial, that guy must have had some hearing defects because they don't sound exactly the same. Now for the battery life. The Raycons can get around 3 hours on one charge with an extra 20 hours with the case. On the box, the Raycons claim they can get 6 hours of audio playback, and that's just when you add up both of the headphones at the same time. So when you're using them both at the same time, both in your ears at once, you can only get 3 hours total. But if you only use one at a time, that's technically 6 hours, so I guess they aren't lying. The AirPods can get around 4 hours with an extra 24 hours with the case. Alright, now for the connectivity of the headphones. Alright, so now I'll be showing the pairing process between the two headphones and the connectivity process, and yeah. So let's start with the Raycon E25s. So first thing what you have to do is you have to pull them out of the case, and you have to hold the buttons down. And they show up in the menu. Now they're paired. Now every time you take the Raycons out and put them back in the case, you have to hold the button for 4 seconds to turn them all the way off, or else they will stay paired to your phone. So that's kind of annoying. They don't automatically pair when you pull them out of the case, and you have to turn them off when you put them back in the case. That is kind of a big deal for me. Now for the AirPods, open the case. They pop up, press connect, and just like that. Alright, so now we'll be measuring the connectivity speed, so it's just like this. There we go. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to show the kind of brutal process of pairing your Raycons, or connecting to them. Here's what you do. Open the case. Kind of a brutal process. Definitely prefer ones that automatically pair and automatically disconnect. Alright, now I'll be testing how far the headphones get from the phone before they start disconnecting or anything like that. Alright, let's do it. Now for the mic quality of the headphones.
Alright, so these are the Raycon E25 earbuds, and they are in my ears right now, as if I'd be like on a phone call or anything like that. So testing, 1, 2, 3. These are the Raycon E25s. Yeah, I don't know how they sound, but we'll figure it out soon. Alright.
Alright, so the Apple AirPods Gen 2 are in my ears right now. And they're just like in my ears normally, as if I'd be like on a phone call or a face chat, whatever you want to do when you're on a phone call using the microphone. And yeah, so testing, 1, 2, 3. These are how the Apple AirPods Gen 2 sound in your ears. Now for the features and cool things about the headphones. The AirPods have ear sensors that make your music automatically pause when you pull them out of the case. The AirPods have wireless charging. They have Hey Siri support. And the Raycons have none of these. Pretty much all the Raycons have to offer is music, touch functions, and extra ear tips. They have a button on the side of the headphone for touch functions, and they are single press either side to play or pause the music, and to answer or hang up calls, double tap the right side to go to the next song, double tap the left side to go to the previous song, triple tap the right side to increase the volume, triple tap the left side to decrease the volume, Press and hold either side for 2 seconds to power on the headphones or to reject a call and to summon Siri. Press and hold for 4 seconds to power off the headphones. For the AirPods, they have 5 different options that you can choose from, and they are Siri, play pause, next track, previous track, or just off. You can set 2 gestures and both are double tap on either side. Alright, now for my experience after using them. Alright, so after using these two headphones side by side for a while, this is my conclusion. The AirPods are way better, and here's why. The AirPods have auto pairing, wireless charging, ear sensors, longer battery, easier to set up, and they're just about in every single way they are superior. But the Raycons also did well in one area, and that is the size. The headphones are pretty small and pretty inconspicuous in your ear. Their case is pretty small and it fits in your pocket. But if you want a cheap, decent pair of wireless earbuds, do not buy the Raycons E25s. The headphones, in my opinion, just lack too many critical features. Just about any new AirPod clone will sweep these off the deck. They just don't compare. Sorry for all the ranting. I just need to get my point across that I don't think they're good. If you want something with the same design and everything like this, you can buy the BW FYE5s. They're the exact same thing and they cost $55 less. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see any other headphones, be sure to leave them in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and peace!